Welcome back. It's your girl Lils, aka Faya, and this is Faya Life because life is a blessing. And today's adventure is shopping for a car. Yeah, I think it's about that time. I've been avoiding it at all costs, literally and figuratively, for the last 5 years, I would say. Maybe even 6. I can't remember. But if you've been here before, you know I talk about my car journey and the cars I've had and why I gave away my car, and I'll kind of summarize that right now. But I have a Dodge Charger, 2006 RT Hemi Dodge Charger, and that car put me through the best and worst of situations. I went through everything with that car. It is a fun car because I technically still have it. It's paid off, but we've gone through, repossessions. We've gone through boots on the car, too many tickets, high interest rates, high car payments, you name it. I could be retired and a millionaire right now if I had the awareness of how to invest in the stock market or how to save my money properly and invest it in real estate when I first purchased the car. And I was about 23 when I bought the car, just young and dumb, you know what I mean? But it's okay because that car, there were more benefits than there were like troubles. I would say just the troubles that did occur were huge. I didn't even talk about break-ins or getting pulled over for no reason, constantly getting harassed by the police, so many things. But lessons have been learned, and the moment I paid it off, I had it for a little bit, and I realized, like, you know what? I want to cut my expenses down because there was just a lot of maintenance. I had to replace the engine at one point, flat tires, oil changes were expensive. It just got out of hand. So I was kind of jaded at the whole point of having a car. And living in a main city, as well as living in an area that barely has parking, constantly, cars getting broken into, the idea of having a car, on top of being self-employed, the idea of having a car just didn't sit right with my spirit, mentally, emotionally, financially especially. I was in a place where I was like, you know what? I don't need a car anymore. I'm just going to figure it out. I'll take public transportation. Gross. As you can see from my other vlog where I took Muni for the first time in a long time. And I've taken it a couple times since then. I'm not ready to graduate back to BART yet, but baby steps. But at the time I was like, you know what? The car's paid off. Let me give this car to my dad. He would benefit from this more than I would because he was commuting, and it just made more sense, right? And they live in a whole different part of the Bay Area. And I know he would take care of it versus just giving it away completely. I mean, I could have probably traded it in for a lump sum of money. I probably still can. But anyway, what I'm getting at is when I decided to give my dad the car, I figured, okay, financially, it's more responsible. Less expenses on my part, which means I don't have to work as hard. Not necessarily as hard, but as much. I don't have to earn as much because I don't have to maintain another external expense, which is all the random phantom costs that cars come with. So I was like, okay, boom, off the plate. And I was, taking public transportation, walking, or just staying home more because that's also another money saver. I have amazing family and friends that would pick me up, that do pick me up and drop me off, give me rides, let me borrow their cars. So I have a pretty ideal situation. But fast forward to today, present time, July 2024, I'm considering going back to college. I'm considering, I'm considering going back to college. That's like the main thing that's currently in motion right now, right? I've been working out a lot more, getting back in shape, just having just turned 40. I want to be in not necessarily the best shape of my life, but I just want to be active, and proactive on top of that. And not having a car is becoming now a whole other expense, because not only am I going out more, and this is like a whole different outside, like I'm playing tennis, I love playing basketball, going to the track, I just started taking step classes and other things. There's like so many events that I tend to miss out on because I don't have a car. I don't like bothering people for their cars or for rides, you know what I mean? I do my best to reciprocate the love when it comes to them picking me up or dropping me off. I try to do my best to be grateful, right? But I'm at a place in my life right now where I need a car. And I think about, what if I rent a car? And I'm like, nah, because that's temporary. And it would be almost the same as a car payment for having a car just permanently, right? Or at least for a year. And that's the other thing. I don't have to have the car forever. I think at this point in my life, having a car is the best decision. You know what I mean? And I feel like I've been kind of at a standstill because I haven't had a car. And don't get me wrong, as you see from my vlogs, I'm doing a lot of walking in the city, and that's triggered, my desire to get back in shape and go explore and do other classes. I'm so grateful to have, a community and a village of family and friends that encourage me and that go with me and that we go and support each other. So if I want to do more of that, especially content creation, like there's so many places I want to go visit and eat and just go on a whim, instead of having to like wait or think about how much am I going to pay for Lyfts and Ubers. And I did the math today because it cost, today's ride back and forth was $45, closer to $50 because of tips, back and forth to get 10 minutes across town and then 10 minutes back. $50, right? Which, fair. Sometimes you got to pay the cost to be the boss. But I did the math. I sat down today, like a few minutes ago before I hit record. And I was like, if I'm spending $50 back and forth, assuming I don't get a ride back home or that I don't skip a week of just this one particular step class, 50 times 2, because I would go twice a week, is $100, times 4 weeks is $400. You know what I could do with $400? I can invest it in the stock market. I can buy new shoes, clothes, you know what I mean? Like groceries, like the essentials. I can do whatever I want. Like you could do so much with $400, right? I could also buy a car. And I'm realizing the more I spend on like Lyfts and rides, because that's not even counting like when I go out to meet friends, or if I go out to like an event or something on my own, or whatever the case may be, or the things I miss out on, like the opportunity cost of not having a car, or having to wait on people's schedules, to borrow their cars. I'm realizing like $400 is a lot, but I'm actively right now spending that incrementally instead of in a lump sum that would go towards something that would bring me more opportunities and more income, 10 times that amount, if you really think about it. And well, if I really think about it, is the vision I see and how I feel is like, okay, well, if I want to take YouTube seriously, yeah, I could do a lot of things on foot in my neighborhood, when I'm out with friends and family, right? But also if I want to expand, or if I want to go meet up with friends or go try a place in like San Jose or Sacramento, I don't have to wait for anyone. I can just be the person that's like driving and facilitating that, you know what I mean? And I think that's kind of changed not having a car, I would say I started feeling like I needed a car about a year and a half ago. I don't want to buy a car. I don't need it. But the way my lifestyle is shifting right now, and the idea of like, if I go back to school, how would I get there? You know what I mean? And yeah, there's public transportation, but what if I want to take a night course? Or what if I just want to get out the house and have my car, and then after school I go to the library, or I go play tennis, or I go to a step class, or I want to go chill at my friend's house, you know what I mean? And I haven't had that freedom in a long time. And when I did the math today, I was like, you know what? Damn, I think it's time to buy a car. I don't know how. I just know it will happen. It's going to happen. So this is kind of like day one of that journey towards buying a car. So if you want to follow along, hit that subscribe button. What kind of car should I get? Where should I buy it? Do you think I can buy a car with no down payment, with decent credit, and a bunch of debt? And yeah, so we'll see. I'm trusting God. I'm surrendering at this point in time. I'll probably go through the rest of July just like taking lifts and stuff. But man, after doing the math, I was like, this doesn't make any sense that I have to spend this money for a couple of trips when I could be spending that money for a multitude of trips, And these trips don't always involve me spending money. Like maybe I just want to go kick it at my friend's house, or maybe I want to go do laundry. You know what I mean? Like, or other activities that don't require me spending money. Laundry does require me to spend some money, but going to do laundry at friends and family's houses, So I'm starting to see more pros than cons in this situation. So if you are in my shoes, you don't have a car, and you want to keep your expenses low, and I've also haven't been working as hard as I know I can because my expenses are that low. Aside from my debt, I've gotten to a point financially where it's like I don't need to make as much or grind as hard as I was in order to survive. Like at the bare minimum, this is my number and I'm solid. And now that I'm kind of in this situation where I need a car, and I don't plan on buying a house anytime soon, but I know buying a car can help that, especially with my credit history and credit report and whatnot. As I'm building my credit, but purchasing a home and whatnot isn't really in the cards at this point in time. I thought it was, and now as I'm kind of like relearning who I am and adding the pieces in my life that will get me to home ownership, I also see value in investing in the stock market. I really do. And I'm not even trying to tell you to do it, but for me, that's what works. You know what I mean? And I'm still trying to be out here with, rich auntie vibes, but sometimes I just have to take big risks to see the big rewards. And I think that's what's happening right now. And I wanted to come on here and talk about that and document this process. So, because in 3 months, because I feel like this is going to happen in less than 3 months. And I want to document that because there's no way that I can go this long spending this type of money. It just isn't financially responsible. And that's a huge part of who I am. And my makeup is like financial responsibility is a key element to my success, my mental and emotional stability. It's still a journey. It's rocky, it's smooth. Like I still go through it, but I think I've graduated to a point where I can start exploring different avenues like a car. And so stay tuned. Part 2, I'm gonna end this video here. But again, I'm just hitting record and talking, documenting my life. I'm gonna be posting these probably 2 vlogs a week or every day. I don't know, but stay tuned. And if you have any car tips, please let me know, because at the end of the day, I have to keep it real. I need a car. I love cars. I want a convertible. I want a Hemi again. I want a truck. Like, I want a sunroof, you know what I mean? A moonroof, all of the things. But at this point, I just need to get to A and B and maybe a couple CDs and E's, right? All right. Well, thank you again for watching. It's your girl Lils. And this is just my life, because life is a blessing. And subscribe, like, share, tell a friend, comment. Again, car tips, please send love my way. Send money if you want to. If you want to send me a car, I'm accepting free cars as well. But we'll talk about all that stuff as we document it. Maybe my next video will be like at a dealership or something. So stay tuned. Much love. Life is a blessing.